The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Mary Jane Veloso is now back in the Philippines after spending over a decade in an Indonesian prison. And to get us the latest about this, we have our mobile journalist Merimon Reyes reporting to us live from the Correctional Institute for Women in Mandaluyong. Merimon, good morning. Kamusta ang naging homecoming ni Mary Jane Veloso? Can you give us more details about her arrival earlier this morning?
Good morning, Pauline. So far, kanina as of 5:40 a.m. ayon sa Bucor, mag-alas 6 na rin ng umaga na lumapag sa NAIA Terminal 3 yung eroplanong sakay ni Mary Jane Veloso. Medyo naging hyped at excited yung kanyang mga kamag-anak at kaibigan na nag-aabang pero hindi sila nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na malapitan si Mary Jane Veloso kanina. At dahil dumiretso sila dito sa CIW sa Mandaluyong, kung saan meron naman daw silang pagkakataon in privacy na malapitan, na mayakap at mabati si Mary Jane after 14 to 15 years na nakakulong sa Indonesia dahil sa mga kasong may kinalaman sa drug trafficking taong 2009 to 2010. 2015 kasi nang makatulan din siya ng death sentence sa pamamagitan ng isang firing squad, pero sa pamamagitan ng mga apela at negosasyon at saka kasabay ng pagkakahuli sa mga sinasabing recruiters na pumlanta ng heroin sa kanya, ay nagkaroon ngayon ng pag-hold dito sa kanyang death sentence. Nakahanda rin dito yung adobong baboy na nirequest daw ni Mary Jane Veloso. At ina-expect din natin na around ngayon, 9 o'clock a.m. ay magkakaroon ng press con para malaman kung ano na nga ba yung sunod na mangyayari. Pero ang so far na malinaw sa ngayon, yung remaining na sentence or yung term sa kulungan ni Mary Jane Veloso ay isa-serve niya dito ngayon sa Pilipinas. Pero aalamin pa natin mamaya kung saang kustodiya siya pupunta.
Okay, Merimon, ano naman yung naging reaksyon ng pamilya ni Mary Jane Veloso dahil hindi nga niya sila nakausap o nayakap man lang sa kanyang pag-uwi dito sa Pilipinas. Sabi mo they will have a chance na gawin iyon in private, pero kailan pa ba posibleng mangyari yon? 'Di ba? Sasailalim pa si Mary Jane Veloso sa quarantine.
Yes, Pauline. Kanina kasi doon sa airport, ilan sa mga emosyon na nakita natin dito ay yung excitement, anxiousness, umiiyak, and even itong tatay ni Mary Jane Veloso na si Tatay Cesar, medyo nagkaroon kanina ng paghihinga o paghihingalo dahil nga mayroon daw siyang sakit sa puso. So yung excitement ng pagkakataon na makikita na niya ang kanyang kamag-anak o anak pagkatapos ng sobrang tagal na panahon, nakita natin kanina. So nagkaroon din ng opportunity muna na magpahinga itong si Tatay Cesar at ibang mga kamag-anak niya. Sabay-sabay na sila pumunta dito sa CIW. Kani-kanina lang dumating na dito si Mary Jane mismo sa CIW at dito na nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na mas malapitan na at makausap ng kanyang mga kamag-anak. And yun nga, sa nasabi kanina, about 1 hour or 2, meron silang private na moment kasama itong pamilya ni Mary Jane, sila Tatay Cesar, yung mga kaibigan niya, and even sa labas kasi ng correctional facility correction institution na ito ay nasa labas din ang mga ibang partido, mga NGO, Gabriela Women's Party List, Migrante Philippines at ang Save Mary Jane Task Force na bukod sa pag-abang nila kanina sa airport ay nandito sila at sinusulong nila yung clemency o yung patuloy na paglaya raw ni Mary Jane Veloso. So ngayon hihintayin na natin at ongoing na kasi yung press conference para marinig pa natin kung ano ang plano nila.
Alright, and with that we'll let you go para makadinig ka pa dyan sa press conference. Pero maraming salamat para sa update na yan. That was our mobile journalist, Merimon Reyes. Meanwhile, groups call on President Bongbong Marcos not to sign the 2025 national budget approved by the BICAM. Advocates of universal health care and leaders of militant groups agree that zero subsidy for PhilHealth does not make sense legally and morally. They noted that the law indicates that the government should give PhilHealth allocation every year. These concerned groups warn that they will be taking their case to the Supreme Court if the budget will be signed as it is.
Para humingi ng TRO or status quo ante order para pag-usapan uli sa Kongreso yung budget na ito. Nasa Pangulo ngayon ang opportunity na panindigan yung kanyang budget.
While several agencies suffered budget cuts, the funding of the lower chamber of Congress for next year has drastically increased. Marian Enriquez has that report.
Armed with slogans, various groups trooped to Batasang Pambansa on Tuesday. They are protesting what they call is the rampant corruption and manipulation of the 2025 national budget. They are certain pork barrel is very much present in next year's allocation. Progressive organizations are also lambasting the reduction in the much-needed budget for frontline agencies and sectors like agriculture and health.
Ibalik ang kinaltas na budget para sa mga serbisyong panlipunan, alisin ang lahat ng forma ng pork barrel.
One controversial budget cut of much impact happened to the Education Department. At least 10 billion pesos was slashed from the agency's spending funds covering initiatives like a computerization program. President Marquez has promised to fix the DepEd's budget. But this early, he said, he is not throwing out what Congress has already passed.
I do not want to line item veto anything because that just gets in the way.
But for Ibon Foundation head Sonny Africa, it's not only the DepEd budget that's the problem. Africa believes the coffers that Congress came up with does not reflect a real economic development program. So what can Marcos Jr. do at this point when even the constitutionality of parts of the budget is being questioned?
Return it to Congress. I mean, should we be held hostage by the timetable? I mean, the bottom line is we are getting a really bad anti-development, anti-people, pro-pork, pro-politician, pro-patronage budget. Are we going to let the lack of time be an excuse to let that budget pass? Because, again, elections campaign, people are going to forget about this. So for us, a decent president would draw the line. A decent president would say, I admit, this is a really bad budget. People's needs aren't being provided for. There's too much for politicians, pork, infrastructure, not enough for education, health, housing, social protection. Let's go back to the drawing board.
But lawmakers are divided over the issue of revising the budget, should the president ask for it.
I don't think there's any need for us to reconvene as a BICAM. Agencies always want to have more, but unfortunately, konti po talaga at limited yung resources natin. So the balancing act for Congress and the Senate becomes very tricky.
In the event that congressmen agree to revisit the already ratified national budget, they have until the end of the year to reconvene or hold a special session, just enough time to avoid a reenacted budget. Several agencies' funds may have been slashed, but that's not the case for the spending money of the House of Representatives. The BICAM doubled this to more than 33.6 billion pesos.
Nakikita natin yung paglaki ng requirements ng House in terms of facilities. So, it's a problem that we cannot postpone any further, and that's why the House has taken steps.
Congressmen also went on the defense of the restored budget for the Ayuda para sa Kapos ang Kita program. AKAP gets 26 billion pesos, which several pundits believe is virtual pork barrel coming in the election year of 2025.
Under DSWD siya, at hindi siya pork barrel, no? Ang implementing agency nun is ang DSWD.
For News 5, I'm Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
Tropical depression Querubin maintains its strength over the waters east of Mindanao. It was last spotted some 230 kilometers east of Davao City. Querubin packs maximum sustained winds of 45 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 55 kph. It is expected to weaken into a remnant low-pressure area within the next 24 hours. For now, tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 is up over Davao Oriental, and flash floods or landslides are possible due to moderate to heavy with at times intense rains. One Filipino engineer has come up with a multifunctional furniture that can be used by students and typhoon evacuees. Para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Amy Atienza.
Mga eskwelahan na nagsisilbing evacuation center para sa mga lumilikas tuwing may kalamidad. Kaya isang Pinoy ang may inimbento para mapagaan kahit paano ang sitwasyon sa mga silid-aralang nagsisilbing kanlungan ng mga bakwit.
Ganito ang madalas na eksena tuwing may bagyo. Ang public school classrooms nagiging pansamantalang tirahan ng mga evacuee. Madalas wala silang bitbit maliban sa mga importanteng gamit. Kaya tiis-tiis sa pagtulog sa malamig na sahig na may manipis lang na pangsapin. Kaya ang engineer na si Edward Marasigan naisip gawin ang Silyang Pinoy. Kombinasyon ito ng silya at mesa na maaaring pagtabi-tabihin para maging isang higaan.
Gumamit lang tayo ng 4 na chair, saka 4 na table. So, sa ganung setup, pwede tayong makahiga ang dalawang matured adults doon sa higaan natin.
Pero hindi naman daw limitado kung ilan ang nais mong pagsamasamahin para magkasya ang buong pamilya. Tiyak din daw ang tibay at nakakatulong pa sa bamboo industry ng bansa ang mga silyang Pinoy.
Naging inspiration natin dito, meron kasing tinatawag na EO 879, kung saan ang sinasabi ng executive order na yon ay dapat yung mga school furniture natin sa DepEd is at least 25% ay may gawang bamboo.
Katuwang ang Department of Science and Technology, nakapagbigay na sila ng mga silyang Pinoy sa ilang eskwelahan sa Puerto Princesa at Camiguin. Ang next goal naman daw nila, mas mapalawak pa ang paggamit nitong mga silyang Pinoy sa mas maraming public schools.
So, yun yung pinaka-goal natin ngayon, na itong silyang Pinoy is madala natin kay DepEd para gamitin nila. So, mabubuhay natin yung bamboo industry sa Pilipinas, and at the same time, makakatulong tayo sa climate resiliency.
Mukha mang simple ang ideya, pero ang mahalaga, ang intensyon mong makatulong sa iyong kapwa. Mobile journalist Amy Achanza po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
And in the PBA, the Phoenix Fuel Masters put an end to the Northport Batang Pierre's 5-0 win streak. Phoenix notched their first win against Northport on Tuesday at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium, 115-109. They led by as much as 14 points behind a dominant performance from import Donovan Smith, who posted 32 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. Phoenix is now at 1 win and 4 losses in the PBA Season 49 Commissioner's Cup, while the Batang Pierre dropped to 5-1. Now, heads up, sports fans, Pilipinas Live is giving the gift of free live games this December. You can enjoy the biggest sporting events this month on the Pilipinas Live app. Catch all the action in the UAAP, PBL, PBA, NBA Emirates Cup, and more. Watch all the action live, on demand, and on any device. All you have to do is download the app and register for free, or you can also scan these QR codes or visit the websites flashed on the screen. And those are the top stories of the hour. I'm Pauline Berzosa. We are One News.